Deemed as bigger and bolder, the FIFA Women's World Cup gets underway tomorrow, jointly hosted by Australia and New Zealand. The United States are bidding to extend their golden era with the third straight win, while an expanded 32-team lineup with 8 nations making their debut is testimonial to the fact that women football has shaped up well since US won the inaugural 12-team tournament in China in 1991. And back home, Unilever Nepal has announced a 2.5 million rupees, the biggest ever sponsorship deal with the national women football team. Good evening, I'm Sayar Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Members at the Nepali Congress Central Committee flay the party leadership for sidelining provincial committees, point out groupism has weakened the party. The new bill designed to make a cover for political prisoners faces flack from all quarters. Experts say misuse of parliamentary rights. Dispute seen between Medical Council and City Viti. The council blocks the admission process forwarded by the City Viti. And Nepal laboured to a 3-wicket win over UAE at the ACC Emerging Nations Cup. Bhutil with 6 wickets and half-century displays an all-round performance for Nepal. A large quantity of gold has been recovered from the Tribhuvan International Airport this evening. More than 80 kilograms of gold that had been brought illegally through the aircraft of the Cathay Pacific Airlines that had arrived Kathmandu from Hong Kong has been recovered. According to the Department of Customs, the gold was in the form of motorcycle brake shoe. The department and police have speculated that this is the largest quantity of gold to be recovered at the airport that has ever been brought illegally. Nepali Congress leaders during the Central Committee meeting of the party have blamed the leadership for lack of business for provincial committee, intra-party division, lack of coordination and failure to regulate the party as per its statute. Meanwhile, various leaders defended former Minister for Home Affairs Balkrishna Khand, who is currently in police custody for his alleged involvement in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam. Speakers from all 7 provinces expressed resentment towards the party leadership, citing lack of business for the provincial committees. They had challenged the party president to scrap the provincial structure, citing provinces were not prioritized and that leaders directly coordinated with the district and local level. Leaders questioned the absence of the party's official stance on the issue of naming of Koshi province. They said that it had invited political crisis in the province. Likewise, leaders said that the party's presence in the parliament had become weak and suggested to hold a meeting prior to attending the parliament meeting. Some leaders, meanwhile, had defended former Home Minister Balkrishna Khand, who is in police custody after being dragged into the fake Bhutanese refugee case. Leaders had also pointed out issues including the leadership's reluctance in providing responsibilities to joint general secretaries, weak performance in the elections of all 3 tiers of government as a result of failing to prioritize sister organizations, political ploy within the party and intra-party dispute. The Central Committee members suggested the General Secretary duo to expand what they said jurisdiction. The work plan presented by General Secretary Thapa includes provisions such as conducting the party's membership campaign for a year to increase the party members by 500,000 to 700,000 and increase the departments from 48 to 70. Likewise, it has been proposed to hold the Central Committee meeting every 2 months as per the party statute. The bill presented by the government to amend a number of existing acts has faced criticism from various quarters. Experts have said that if the bill is endorsed intact, it will lead to the criminalization of national politics. Section 116 of the Criminal Procedure Court has the provision of withdrawing cases against political prisoners and cadres from all the tiers of the court, the Supreme Court, the High Court and the District Court. Strong voices against the bill have started to rise, citing that the bill is bound to criminalize a national political scene. Experts say that if the bill is endorsed intact, it will also signal the misuse of parliamentary rights. It may be recalled that the then Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba had floated the bill at the Parliament with similar provision. However, the bill was withdrawn following massive criticism. The bill at the time was aimed at releasing Resham Chaudhary, who was allegedly involved in the Tikapur incident, and cadres of Netra Bikram Chand. Confusion still surrounds regarding the dumping of Kathmandu waste at the Banchare Dara landfill site. The obstruction seen with the dumping of Kathmandu waste at Banchare Dara landfill site in Kakani rural municipality remains intact. Meanwhile, Minister for Urban Development Sita Gurung held talks with local residents and representatives from the affected area. Following some commitments expressed by the minister, local residents from Banchare Dara said that they would ensure the smooth passage of the waste-laden trucks only after the commitments are implemented. The Ministry of Urban Development had called all the representatives of the 18 rural municipalities for a long-term solution to the garbage disposal problem today. In our Public Voice segment, today we have asked in several provinces, why has the expressions of ministers and lawmakers been dragged into controversies? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
सांसद र मन्त्रीहरूले बोल्दाखेरि होस नपुर्याएर बोल्ने गर्छन्।
लर्डमा हजुरको चाहिँ आफू प्रचारबाजी गर्ने गरेको कारणले नेताहरूको अभिव्यक्ति चाहिँ विवादित हुन गयो।
गएर के बोल्ने भन्ने कुरा पूर्व तयारी गरेर जानु पर्यो।
विषयवस्तु राम्रोसँग गइरहेमा नपुगिकन बोल्ने गर्दा उनीहरूको बीचमा विवाद आए जस्तो लाग्छ।
अध्ययन गरेर बोल्नु पर्यो, नसकिने कुरालाई बोल्नु भएन।
नेतृत्व गर्ने मान्छेले चाहिँ कहाँ के बोल्दाखेरि कहाँ असर पर्छ भन्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ धेरै बुझेर मात्रै बोल्नु पर्यो।
सोचेर बोल्नु पर्ने उहाँहरू भनेको धेरै ठुलो मान्छेहरू।
दबावको हिसाबले मन परे हिसाबले बोल्ने भावनाले नेताहरूको यो प्रवृत्ति भएको।
विषयको गहनता नबुझेर आफ्नो मनगठन जब कुरा गर्छन् त्यति बेला पक्कै पनि त्यसले एउटा राम्रो सन्देश जान्दैन र विवादमा हुन्छ।
विचार अभिव्यक्ति र व्यक्तिवादी कानुनहरूको कार्यान्वयन गर्ने कोसिस गर्दै जाँदा यस्ता विवादहरू आउँछन्।
कुरो एउटा गर्छन् अनि काम चाहिँ अर्को गर्छन्, त्यही भएर यिनीहरूले विवादमा आउने कारण नै त्यही हो।
नसोचिकन झ्यापो बोल्दिने गर्दा पनि विवादमा आउनुहुन्छ।
विषय अनुसारको गम्भीरतालाई चाहिँ बुझ्न नसक्दा।
The Council for Technical Education and Vocational Training (CTVT) on the 13th of July last week had issued a notice to begin process of admissions for all programs of diploma and undergraduate level for the new academic session. However, Medical Education Commission issued a circular to halt the process, saying that the renewal of the institutions that operate medical education courses and allocation of seats had yet to be done. There are 200 educational institutions that conduct undergraduate level medical courses under the CTVT. On the 13th of July, the CTVT had issued a notice to begin admissions for nursing, general medicine, pharmacy, lab technician, radiography, dental and Ayurveda among 11 different programs. However, 90% of the institutions have yet to submit details of seat allocation and have not coordinated to conduct examinations. Meanwhile, CTVT had directed institutions that have abided by the regulation to begin the admission process. The CTVT has said that the admission process has been moved forward based on the inspection by experts for renewal of educational institutions, seat allocation and the provision of admission. There are a total of 13,900 seats in the constituent, partner and private institutions under the CTVT. Meanwhile, teachers and students have been worried that the dispute between the two regulating bodies could affect the admission process. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Before that, let's take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked, why has the attraction towards the study of agricultural education reduced in an agricultural country. 15% voted for A, expensive, 74% for B, lack of employment opportunities, and 11% for C, no understanding of significance. And here's today's question. What's your take on the dispute seen between Medical Education Commission and CTVT regarding student admission? The options are A, jurisdiction problem, B, trying to implement rules, and C, lack of coordination. Voting is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. A team of Kathmandu Metropolis had reached capital's Devi Nagar to demolish the construction of a Bhadra Kumari Ghale Foundation building, claiming it as illegal, had to return empty-handed. The scenario materialized following an interim order by Patan High Court. The Kathmandu Metropolis on Sunday had given a 3-day ultimatum to Bhadra Kumari Ghale building to vacate it, calling the structure illegal. The foundation had moved the Patan High Court against the Metropolis ultimatum as the single bench of Judge Shyamji Pradhan gave an interim order blocking the KMC move. The High Court has also asked the Metropolis to furnish details of its evidence against the foundation. The Metropolis team had proceeded with the demolition job before it was shown the court verdict. The foundation has been operating a children's home, a school, a home for visitors, a cooperative, among others, in the 5 Ropani land occupied by the centre. The foundation has also claimed that the land it is using is private property and not public land. Time now for international update. At least 11 people were killed and more than a dozen injured after a bus plunged into a ravine in a remote area of Peru yesterday. The accident occurred yesterday afternoon with the bus overturning and rolling into a 100-meter chasm in the Andean region of Ancash. The bus was traveling from Iauya to the capital Lima when it crashed. According to the residents, the bus violently rolled off the road. The reason for the accident remained under investigation. Accidents frequently occur along Peruvian highways due to speeding, poor road conditions, lack of signage, and poor enforcement of traffic rules. Several people were shot, some possibly fatally, as security forces and demonstrators protesting against the high cost of living and tax hikes clashed in cities and towns across Kenya. Demonstrators hurled rocks at police and burned tires in the streets, while the security forces fired volleys of tear gas, witnesses said. It was the 3rd round of anti-government demonstrations called by the opposition this month. Schools were closed in the capital Nairobi, the port city of Mombasa, and Kisumu, the country's 3rd largest city. Nairobi's city centre was largely deserted with many businesses shut, while police erected checkpoints on roads leading to State House, President William Ruto's official residence.
Sports news.
Nepal registered a consolation victory over UAE at the Emerging Nations Cup. Kushal Bhurtel put up an all-round display, bagging 6 wickets as Nepal romped home with 3 wickets, remaining in a chase of 158 runs. Nepal's star striker Sabitra Bhandari has claimed that her performance in the European League would transform the way Nepal's women's football would be seen from now onwards. Speaking at a function today to bid her goodbye for her appearance in the Israel's Hapoel FC, Sabitra said that she was ready for the new challenge. Sabitra, incidentally, is the first Nepali to play professional football in Europe. Minister for Sports Dig Bahadur Limbu, ANFA President Pankaj Nemwang, and Israel Ambassador to Nepal Hanan Godar bade farewell to Sabitra Bhandari. The star forward of South Asian football, Sabitra, has struck a 1-year contract with Hapoel FC. Ambassador Hanan said that the Israel spectators were eagerly waiting to see Sabitra Bhandari's football talent. Apart from helping Nepal win the friendly series against Bangladesh, Sabitra had also featured in the prestigious Indian Women League, bagging the Golden Boot for the top scorer. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.